Welcome to Hull Adventures. I'm Eddie. Laura's not here right now. Today I'm going to share another cruise tip with you. It's a big one. It's Embarkation Day. Let's do it. Okay, what's Embarkation Day? Embarkation Day is just a fancy way of saying the day you board the ship. I will tell you guys, there are, on a cruise, the two longest days are the day you board the ship and the day you get off the ship. Those are the two longest days of your cruise. For obvious reasons, really. I mean, the day you board the ship, it can be very hectic, it can be very stressful, and you'll be doing a lot of waiting around. And a lot of you that never cruised before, it's going to be sensory overload on many levels. So that ends up making the day feel really long. And then the day you leave is just, it's not only is it long, it's depressing. And I believe the depression makes it feel longer, especially if you have to fly back home. All right, so, or worse yet, you decided to drive 20 hours. I can't even imagine doing that, guys. So with that, let's move on. You've got the cruise booked. You're a couple weeks out. This is when you have to start planning for Embarkation Day. A couple weeks out. Don't do it the night before, the day of. You have to get on top of this stuff ahead of time. Roughly 2 weeks out, start checking your cruise line's website daily. The thing you want to check for are the COVID-19 protocols. I keep mentioning this in our vlogs, that it's very critical that you are aware of the ever-changing COVID-19 protocols and that you meet the requirements so you're allowed to board your ship and everything goes smoothly for you. So make sure you have that all straightened out and you know exactly what you need to do, and stay on top of it all the way up until the day you leave. You need to. Now, the other thing is, you want to know when is the earliest time you can check in for your cruise. You normally do this online ahead of time. Now, Carnival allows you, everybody can go online exactly 14 days prior to boarding and check in for their cruise. This allows you to have first pick of the arrival appointment you want. That's the arrival appointment is like your scheduled boarding time. So basically it's first come, first serve. So when you see 14 days out, say you're cruising on the 15th, and 14 days out is the 1st, so you want to get on the website at midnight, first on to midnight. Do it at midnight, 12:01 a.m. Be online and check in. That's the best way to give you first choice of when to board. So that's what you want to, and usually with Carnival it's 2 weeks out. Every cruise line is going to be different. That's why you have to make sure you are checking with your cruise line's policies, and also make sure you know what is allowed on board and what is prohibited, so you don't pack things that are prohibited, because they will take those things and you won't get them back. Okay, so now getting up to the cruise after you've done your check-in online, you want to print all those documents. Okay, you want to print copies of your COVID test results. You want to print copies of everything. It's even a good idea to make a photocopy of your ID, your passport, anything to do with your travel documents. Make photocopies of those. And what you want to do is get yourself a folder. Put all that documentation in a folder. When you have all your documentation together, the night before you leave to go to the port city, make sure you go back through and you have everything. Go back to the cruise line's website, read through all the requirements, everything that you need, to make sure you have all those things, and they're in that folder. That folder will go in a carry-on bag that will not leave your side until you check into your room on board, okay? Now, as far as traveling to the port city, that's going to be an individual decision based on your location. So it comes down to geography, right? And how you value your time, really. So, our advice always prior to COVID 19 was to fly in the day before, no later than the day before. So, when you're booking your cruise, make sure you also book a hotel in close proximity to the cruise port, and so that you can, take an Uber or shuttle. You can check with the hotels and find out if they have a free shuttle or a paid shuttle, whatever, to get you to the cruise ship in the morning. So make sure you do that too. Don't wait until the last minute, try to book a hotel. You might get stuck way across town. You might get stuck paying super high prices. So book your hotel room the same time you book your cruise. And don't worry, most hotels will let you do a book now, pay at the hotel, pay at the property option. So we use hotels.com. We get points for that, and I think after every 10 bookings, they give us a equal or average room fee we paid credit towards a future room. So anyways, that's just a tip. Now, with the pandemic, traveling now is even more unpredictable, and if we do not recommend anyone fly in the day of a cruise, no matter where it is, how far it is, it doesn't matter. Your flight could get canceled. Now, if your flight gets canceled or delayed and you're flying in the day of, you are not going to make it to the cruise. So, flying in the day before. If your flight is canceled, you have all night and the next day to try to get another a flight to get to your cruise on time. We are actually now, we're trying to fly in 2 days early. And we're doing that because it gives us a cushion in case we are delayed. And we have had flights delayed over the last, 10 months of cruising and traveling around the country. We've had missed flights, connecting flights due to delays. So it's crazy. It doesn't matter what cruise line it is or airline it is. It's happening to all of them. American Airlines, Delta, United. It doesn't matter who you're flying with, Southwest, Spirit, they're all getting delays, and it's due to a pilot shortage, it's due to a labor shortage on the ground, baggage handlers, ticket agents. They just have a shortage of people, guys, and that's what's happening. So we'd like to fly in 2 days early if we have the vacation time, can make it work, because what it does is it allows us a full day in the port city to visit and explore, and makes our vacation one full day longer. I know you're going, well, you're saying 2 days. Well, a lot of times you fly in, you don't get into the evening, and you don't get to see anything. You go to your room, maybe grab a meal, dinner at the hotel, or take a shuttle someplace around, Uber to a restaurant, or order pizza or something, but you don't get to see anything. It's dark, So that's why we like to do 2 days early. So determine how you're going to get to the cruise port. Now, morning of the cruise. Oh, another thing, guys. I mentioned already, it's going to be the longest day is embarkation day, and the second longest is the day you leave. So it's good to be well rested. That's another reason for getting to the port city the day before. So even if you're driving more than 2 hours, 3 hours, I recommend driving in the day before, get a hotel, have a nice relaxing evening at the hotel, get a nice one. Enjoy yourselves. Eat a nice meal, stay up a little late if you want, get a good night's sleep, and be well rested and ready to roll. Get breakfast at the hotel in the morning or nearby. So when you get ready, because usually your arrival appointments are going to be around between 10 and 2 o'clock, usually somewhere in there. A lot of times it seems like we get 11, 11:30, 10:30, something like that. So you can sleep in to 8:30, 9 o'clock, and still make it to your get breakfast and still make it in plenty of time. So that's what we recommend. We tried flying in the day before 2 cruises before the pandemic, and we were so exhausted and stressed out from flying in the day of. It's a super long day. Get that rest, guys. It's worth that extra $150, $200 for a hotel for the night. So, and what if your car breaks down? Well, what if your car, you don't know, your car could break down. You could be involved in an accident, and you won't make it to or a bad traffic jam, and you'll miss your cruise trying to drive in the day of, morning of. Okay, So now once you determine your transportation situation and how you're going to get there to ensure that you make it on time, do not arrive more than 15 minutes early. Do not arrive to the cruise terminal more than 15 minutes before your arrival appointment. There's a couple reasons for this. A lot of people, they'll end up getting like a 12:30, 1 o'clock arrival appointment, and they're mad, and they're going, well, we're still going to go at 10:30 in the morning. They stagger those arrival times to make everything go smooth, so everybody gets on board at a nice even pace. No one is standing still for too long in lines for too long. So stick to your arrival appointment. If you arrive too early, some cruise lines will make you wait outside until it's time for your arrival appointment. You could be somewhere where it's really super hot, no shade, you're out there burning up, but you decided to show up 2 hours early, and you're going to have to stay out there. There's a lot of horror stories on the different Facebook cruise groups where people are like, we were in Galveston, and we were out there for 4 hours in the blazing sun, and we had no water, and there's no restrooms, and yada, yada, yada. So don't take that chance. And the other thing, you could be stuck outside in the rain with no shelter, waiting to get into the cruise terminal. So 15 minutes is about as long of that you're going to want to tolerate, guys. So shoot for 15 minutes. We always shoot for 15 minutes in case. One time our Uber driver got lost, didn't speak English, and we didn't think about using Google Translate to talk to him. And he took us to a water treatment center, like out in the middle of nowhere. Like, it's like a horror movie. We love horror movies, but you don't want to be in one, in real life, right? We thought, man, this guy's going to bury us out here. But we finally were able to communicate with him going, boat, but anyways, he got us where we're going, but we ended up getting there a half hour late. But we left early, so we would have been 45 minutes, almost an hour late. So it helped out a little bit. Okay, they won't leave. If you're a little late, you're not going to get in trouble, so don't worry about that. Don't be too late, because they will leave without you if you show up beyond the check-in window. Your travel documentation. And your COVID-19 protocols. Make sure you double check and you have everything your cruise line requires to travel on their ship, to board the ship, that you meet all their requirements. All right, COVID-19, the Omicron variant, there's a new version of it. I know I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I just read about it today. It's BA5 or BA4 or something variant, and it's spreading, and it is spreading really bad overseas right now. Over in Europe, it's spreading. It's on the rise. Here in the United States, we've been pretty flatline since May, which is good, but just keep in mind it's spiking over there. In fact, friends of ours we're friends with online, the Cruise World, Mark from the Cruise World was doing I believe it was a Mediterranean Greece back-to-back cruise over there, and he tested positive for COVID after the first leg of the cruise. So he, right now, I believe, still yet, he's stuck at a hotel over there, quarantine situation until he can fly back. So just keep that in mind. Why am I mentioning that? Well, you need to take masks with you. Take your masks that are comfortable for you, that you feel comfortable wearing, because some of the countries you're going to visit might require masks still. So we're still living with COVID. It didn't go away. It's just slowed down, and the news coverage is real low because they're on other things. So just keep that in mind. And the other countries don't play around, guys. They do not play. They will give you a fine you $500. They have police on the street telling you to wear masks. I've seen that in Mexico. So with that said, you have to make sure you have all that documentation. And then the paper backup I mentioned earlier, you want to have paper backup of everything. And some of you might be saying, no, I got everything on my iPad, I got everything on my phone. Well, you access a lot of that stuff through the cloud, right? And the cloud requires Wi-Fi or a cell phone signal, and you could lose contact with the cloud due to Wi-Fi issues and cellular service issues. You could also have your device break, just die. You could have it stolen. There's all kinds of things that could happen. So rather than saying, I'm going to just roll the dice, why do that? Take printed copies of everything. If you book specialty dining on board, you book excursions for your cruise through the cruise line, and especially outside companies' excursions. Make sure you have paper copies of all that, because their computers could be down. The computers could be down at the terminal. Anything can happen. Have paper copies. It's safe. Okay, and as I said, you put it in a folder and you put it in your carry-on, and your carry-on never leaves your side. So when you get to the cruise terminal, check all your big suitcases. Don't be that guy that wants to save a few bucks by not tipping a porter, or you're so paranoid someone's going to lose your luggage that you're carrying, a bunch of suitcases, trying to go through security, trying to show all your documents. All you do is slow down the process for everybody else. Trust the system. Give your bags to a porter. You want to make sure it gets on ship? Give that guy some money. Give him $20 for your 2 or 3 bags. Tell him thank you. I appreciate what you're doing. And that guy will hustle your bags and hand deliver them to whoever they need to get on board. That's the secret. That's how you get service at the bars, guys, and that's how you make sure your luggage gets on board. Money, tip, be generous, be nice. Okay, so you want to do that. Get rid of your luggage. And then, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to make sure you don't pack anything that's prohibited, because anything that's prohibited or any contraband you're trying to smuggle on board, they will find it and they will take it and confiscate it and you won't get it back. So don't do that. Make sure you know what the policies are before you start packing things. They basically don't want anything that can make fires. Fires on cruise ships are bad. Okay, so anything that has a potential of starting a fire will not be allowed. Anything that it can be used as a weapon will not be allowed. You can't take your samurai sword in your 28-inch suitcase. So just be aware of that. And I will tell you this, probably, and I should have said this right in the beginning, you have to pack your patience with you. You must be patient on embarkation day, because it is a long process getting on board. When I say long, if it goes smooth, you can get on board in under an hour if it goes really smooth. But we are getting back to full capacity, 100%, 100+%. Carnival's shooting for 110%. You're going, well, how is that possible? Well, that's putting 3 and 4 people in every room that will hold 3 or 4. Okay, that's not double occupancy. That's like maximum occupancy. And because of that, you're going to have thousands of people trying to get on this ship at the same time. Now, keep in mind, there's a show on, I believe it's on Amazon. It's called Life of the Cruise, I believe. I'll put it down in the description, the exact title of it. And it's from a couple years ago. And they basically follow an MSC cruise ship through the process of, embarkation day. Getting all of the guests off the ship in the morning and turning the ship over and making it look like new and reloading it full of supplies and getting you all on board all in one day, and how that takes place, what's behind that. I swear, if you watch that documentary, you will learn that you need to be patient, and the patience is deserved, because what they do is just incredible. Those crew members, all of them pitch in to make this happen, and they work their butts off on that day. So it's incredible. So make sure you watch that. I'll have it in the description below, like I said. The first thing you should do when you get on board is do your muster drill. Okay, now don't go on board and go, how do I do my muster drill? Do a little research before you get on board. Go through the Facebook groups. Say, hey guys, what's the process for the muster drill on Royal Caribbean when I get on board? Celebrity Cruises, Carnival, Norwegian, whoever your P&O, whoever you're cruising with, find out what their muster drill requirements are, what they need to do to get your muster drill done, and get it done. As soon as you get on board, get it done, because it's just one less thing you're going to have to worry about later, and you won't be the person that's holding up the ship from leaving. It's maritime, like international law, it requires all passengers to go through an emergency instructional muster drill, so they know what to do if the ship is sinking, on fire, whatever, if there's emergency. That's what it's about, and it's required. The cruise lines aren't being a bunch of sticks in the mud trying to rain on your parade, trying to take, and the new muster drill, guys, 2 minutes max. 2 minutes max on every cruise line. Just get it done, okay? Because you're going to hear them calling over and over and over and over again on the PA, and they're going to irritate you and drive you crazy, going, We need everybody to go to muster drill. We still have 800 people waiting to go to muster drill. So let's work together right now. Everybody do your muster drill first. Okay, once you get the muster drill done, what I like to do is I like to grab a beer. That's what I do. You don't have to do that, but I grab a beer. That's the first thing I do. Then I grab lunch. Now, the worst place you're going to want to go to is the buffet. Do not go to the buffet on Embarkation Day. Avoid that. That is crazy. That's like Black Friday type shopping for food. Everybody's there. And the crew they tell everybody, oh, Delito buffet, deck 10. And they tell you to go up there. They tell you don't have to, though. Make yourself familiar with all your food options before you get on board. Doing a little research, guys, makes your vacation so much better. Doing a little research ahead of time, a little preparation. Okay. Now on Carnival, you guys have been watching our channel. You know we love Carnival. Laura's turned into a trader, though. I think she likes Celebrity better. But with that, we like Guy's Burgers. I love Guy's Burgers. So my first stop is grab a beer and grab a Guy's Burger. Boom. Guy's Burgers is always fast, no matter what's going on. They get people through the line quickly, and it's delicious, and it's Guy's Burgers, guys. You know, if you know, you know. So that's what we do. But every cruise line has optional food choices outside of that buffet on Embarkation Day for lunch. So make sure, just do that. Just go to one of those locations. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you to do, and this is a tough one, because everybody wants to leave their phones in cell mode, you know, with your cellular service activated as long as possible, right? Because you're taking selfies. Hey, you know, look at me. You know, you're holding your umbrella drink. You know, posting on Facebook, rubbing it in all your family and friends' faces. I'm on a cruise ship. Yeah, you know. So you're wanting to stay connected, and I understand, but make sure you put that thing in airplane mode. And it's a good idea to do it before you start having too much fun. Okay. I've heard many stories where people get on board with every intention to put their phone in airplane mode, but next thing you know, they're drinking rum punch, and then they're drinking margaritas, and then they're hitting, you know, they're just drinking, having fun. Oh, sail away party, they're doing the wobble, and next thing you know, their phone stayed on, they're out at sea. The next day they realize it. They've been using cellular service for everything, and they get $1,000 charge on their phone bill. You don't want to do that. So make sure you do something. I suggest going to airplane mode right when you're eating lunch. Just go to airplane mode, and if you have a Wi-Fi package, try to log into the Wi-Fi right then and start using the ship's Wi-Fi. And it's the best thing to do right there. So you're avoiding that. You don't want to be out there doing the wobble and forget your phone is in airplane mode. Okay, next. Most cruise lines will not have your room ready until after 1:30, okay? So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be able to go to your room until after 1:30. Again, watch that movie Life of the Cruise, and you'll understand why they need that time to get your room ready. So you don't want to, it's another reason for not taking all your luggage on board with you, because you got to carry that around with you. So as soon as your room's ready, you know, 1:30, usually they'll make an announcement, or you can just stop by your room and see. Once it's ready and you get in there and check your bags and everything, make sure you take a moment to, usually your room steward's pretty good about this. These guys scout, they're out in the hallways watching who's coming and going, and they try to introduce themselves and give you a card with their number on it. Talk to them about any special needs you might have. If you have any questions about how to operate the safe or any other features in the room, ask them. If you've never been on a cruise before, look at the shower fixtures, because they're a little complicated at first. You might not know how to turn your shower on, and stuff like that. Anything you might have questions about, do not hesitate to ask these guys. The other thing, your luggage, your checked luggage could show up. It might already be there. A lot of times it'll show up within the next hour or two. If your checked luggage does not show up when you go back to your room, to get ready for dinner, let your room steward know. Call that number if you don't see him on the hallway, and let him or her know that your luggage did not show up, and ask them if they could be on the lookout for it, and they will. They will try to track your luggage down, and once they find your luggage, they will normally put it in your room for you. So you come back from dinner and your luggage isn't at your door, like, oh, I didn't drop it off, and it's in your room. So just make sure you do that. We've been on multiple cruises. They've never lost their luggage, knock on wood, and we're really happy about that. It's made it from the cruise terminal on the ship every single time. Your One last thing, I got some notes here, guys, because my memory is not the greatest. All right, so you checked into your room. It's like 2 o'clock. This is a good time to go explore the ship, okay? And we're not looking for, hey man, where's the casino? Where's this? Where's that? Where's the spa at? You know, where's the gym? You don't need to worry about that stuff. What you need to worry about is, where are you eating that night? If you're eating at the MDR, make sure you know where your section you're going to be eating at is. It's going to be based on if you have like my time dining or set dining, and it's going to say in your documentation, your boarding information, what type of dining you have, and usually it will also tell you which dining room you're going to be eating at. Find that dining room, find out where it's at, or the specialty dining you're going to eat at the steakhouse or wherever. Make sure you know where that's at, because it just makes it easier for you to find where you're going to be eating, because that's the next place you need to go to. Once you do that, it's a good idea to head up to the Lido deck, where the party's going to be, the sail away party. Don't miss the sail away party. It's a great time. It's a great opportunity to get out there and just kick your vacation off with a lot of fun. And some of you guys might be thinking, man, because it's usually around between 4 and 5 o'clock, and you're thinking, oh, I don't want to party all night because I'm going to go to dinner. It's only, the parties on board, guys, the deck parties are usually 30 minutes to an hour long. They're not real long, so don't worry about that. Go to them. They're cool. You get to, they do line dances, and everybody's having a blast. Most of the people are just watching, you know, but you get to watch the ship leave port. You pass other ships. It's just a lot of fun. It makes a lot of excitement and really kicks off that, you know, hey, we're on vacation. That's when you start getting your drinks in, your phone's turned off, you're having a good old time. Everything's just a blast, a lot of fun. Then after that, you know, you might want to explore the ship a little more depending on what time you're going to be eating. You want to head back to your room. Hopefully your luggage is there if it wasn't already, and get ready for dinner and go on and have a great time. You know, go eat your dinner, and then after dinner, explore the ship more. If you're planning on working out in the gym, go find the gym so you know where it's at, because you want to go first thing in the morning and get it done. So find the gym. Or if you have spa appointments, find out where the spa's at. You know, if you plan on watching shows in the evening, go find out where the theaters are. So it's a good time. That's what it should be. Everything should be purpose driven. But I do recommend, long before you get on board, studying the deck plans and find out what decks have the things you want to see and utilize, where those decks are, and make yourself familiar so when you get on board, you're not completely lost. Some people wander around on a cruise ship for 5 days on a 7-day cruise and still don't know where they're at. Don't do that. Do your research beforehand. Study the deck plan. And usually, like on the app for the cruise lines, they'll have the deck plan there too, so you can look at it right on your phone, which is great. So now I'm going to give you some drinking tips. Drinking. Now, you know, we talk about this many times. I don't even hardly ever drink at all while on dry land. I get that from SpongeBob and Sandy the Squirrel. Old dry land. When I'm on dry land, I barely ever drink, because I'm always on some kind of diet or something. So I might have a beer or two when we're out to dinner or something, but I never drink at home, right? But on a cruise ship, that's different. That's a whole different ball game. I eat and drink whatever I want, and I'm a beer guy, so I, you know, have at it. Have a great time. Don't worry about it. We always get the drink package, and so what I'm going to tell you on embarkation day, there's a couple things you got to worry about when you're drinking. Okay, if you have the drink package, be aware if you're sailing out of Galveston, Texas, or anywhere else in Texas. I think Galveston's the only place you could sail out of, or New York. There is a law in both of those states that prohibit the cruise lines from allowing you to utilize a drink package benefit. So your drink package does not apply on those first, on Embarkation Day. Your drink package starts at 6 a.m. the following day. That's with Carnival. The other cruise lines might start at a different time, but this rule usually it applies to all the cruise lines. So know that every drink you drink on Embarkation Day will be out of your pockets, can get charged your sail and sign card, it's going to be charged your room. Okay, so be aware of that. The other thing too is while in port, a lot of the cities or states require you to pay taxes on your drinks. So you'll see little charges like, 78 cents, 38 cents, and that'll be on every time you get a drink on Carnival, you sign for it. Celebrity wasn't like that. So all cruise lines are different, but you see all these charges on Carnival. So be aware of that. Now, just so you understand, if you're on a 7-night cruise that sails out of Galveston, Texas, or out of New York City, Manhattan, you're not going to pay for the drink package on day one. They're only going to charge you 6 days instead of 7 for the drink package. So just know that. It's not like you're getting ripped off. But we went on a back-to-back on the Carnival Vista, and just for fun, we drank on Embarkation Day like we would drink if we had the drink package in play, right? To compare the difference, how much money it saved us, and it got expensive. It was it's very expensive. So on the back-to-back, we went back to Galveston to sail again, so we had another day in there, and that time we rolled it back a little bit. We're like, we don't want to have a super high bar tab. So with that said, you're going to be aware of that. Be aware of the tax. The tax isn't that big of a deal. I wouldn't really sweat that too much, but don't be shocked by it. And the next thing, you're going to see on many of the cruise lines, they're going to run up to you with like some fancy glass, some fancy mixed drink, cocktail, rum punch, margarita, something in a souvenir glass, and it's gonna be awesome. You're gonna go, oh yeah, you're gonna snag that up, thinking I got the drink package, I'm good. No. They're going to charge you for that because you're going to pay for that souvenir glass, and it's going to be $15 to $30. And if it's you and your wife, or you and your husband, or you and someone else's wife or husband, you're going to be paying, $30 to $60 for that. That's crazy. So just be like, stay away, Satan, and don't go for those souvenir glasses unless you want them and you think it's worth spending that kind of money on it. Then do it. Finally, moderation, guys. You have to moderate your drinking, especially on Embarkation Day, okay? Because you're going to be tired. It's an exciting day. You're exhilarated. You get a lot of excitement, and it's one of those, like, it's almost like a roller coaster. You get real excited in the morning, and then you go stay in the line. You get real excited again because you're getting closer, and then you come back down. You get real excited because now you're on the gangway, and you get on board. And then it's like that. It's up and down all day long. So it's an emotional roller coaster, and you do a lot of walking. And you got a lot going on, and like I said, it's like sensory overload. If you've never been on a cruise ship, it's incredible the way they look. You're seeing the ocean for the first time, watching sail away, all these large ships, the huge deck parties, everybody having a blast. It wears you out. Now, if you're not a big drinker, and even if you are, and you're partaking, and you're drinking, and you're getting after it, you can find yourself passed out early and hung over your first full day at sea, and you don't want to do that, guys. So just pace yourself and know that they're going to go down fast because you're having fun, and you're going to feel like your body's going to fool you into believing you're not really, man, this really ain't kicking in. I'm not feeling anything. I'm not even buzzed. And then next thing you know, boom, you're going to be in bad shape. So don't do that, and just be careful with that. The other thing too is, don't feel like if you do have the drink package, if you don't drink 15 drinks every single day, you're a failure. Don't fight the drink package, right? Some days you're going to get close to 15 drinks. Some days you're only going to get 10. But if you drink more than 7 or 8, the drink package is paying for itself. So just be aware of that. You don't have to drink 15 because they allow you to have 15. It's almost like going to an all-you-can-eat buffet and eating all you can. You know, to the point, it's diminishing returns if you're physically ill because you're partaking to the maximum. So just have some common sense about it. And one last thing, I shared a vlog about fights at sea, Fight Club at sea. You can see that below. And I talked about 2 recent fights on 2 different cruise lines. One was on Carnival, and the other was on Royal Caribbean. This all happened the last couple weeks. And I did advise that, it's probably a good idea to avoid the nightclubs, later in the evening after midnight. Not that I believe they're dangerous at all. I think they're a lot safer than the nightclubs here on dry land. But you can avoid, potential, situations just by staying out of that. Especially if you're middle age or older, like we are. We tend to stick to the, like on Carnival, the Red Frog Pub or the Alchemy Bar. Laura loves the Alchemy Bar, but she likes the Martini Bar on Celebrity better. Don't tell the Alchemy people. She's really sold on Celebrity. Celebrity's cool, guys. We really did like it. We're going on Celebrity again next March on the Apex. So that's going to be exciting. So with that said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. And, let me know. Did I miss anything? What is your embarkation tradition? What is the first thing you like to do when you get on board? Leave your comment below. What do you do? Let me know. And we will talk to you soon. Bye.